This is just a little bonus video. We've never released two in 1 week before, but this is a bunch of footage of stuff I did on the side to get the Super Bee ready to go to Daytona. Just a bunch of outtakes and stuff that I figured might as well share with you guys than just throw it in a folder somewhere. So real quick and dirty, check out some other things we did to get the cars ready. We'll be shooting a lot of footage in Daytona. We'll probably give you a live update or two while we're down there. So check it out, look for it. All right, thank you. Okay, the last task we have for the Super Bee to be ready for Daytona is the fan shroud. So while the car's never overheated, it did get kind of hot in Gatlinburg in the heavy traffic during the spring cruise to the top of the gauge, but it never really got past 220. So I don't think there's a problem, but I don't like this big meat cleaver here hanging out every time I try to work on this car. So we went ahead and bought the aftermarket 26-inch radiator fan shroud. Now I want you to check this out. Those of you who bought fan shrouds in the last 20 years, you need to take a look at this, all right? So what we have here is two brand new fan shrouds. Up there we have the 26-inch one. This one is a 22. Was purchased in probably 2000. You can see it's brand new, never been installed. It's from year one. I think it was purchased in error because it was in the car when I got it. But I want you to look at this. So look at how raw the fiberglass is. Like I said, this is a year one replacement part in the year 2000. You would have paid like $75 for this thing, and look how just raw and unfinished it is. So nowadays we got these really nice plastic refinished pieces, nice and sturdy, nice and thick. And again, I think this is still $75, but you can see there's a lot more protection there versus this tiny little thing. So restoration parts have come a long way. It's nice to have some good stuff available to us. This is that giant meat cleaver I'm talking about. You can see anytime you reach in here to do anything, you got that thing right there wanting to cut your fingers off. Excuse me. This being a California car, has this massive 7-blade clutch fan on the desert cooler radiator. So we're gonna have to pop those 4 nuts off there, get that off as the shroud and fan slide in together. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this. I'm sure you're all wondering where Maggie is, since I'm not supposed to touch this car, but I do have permission as we're just flat running out of time. Daytona is next Thursday, less than a week away. She had to work today. I've been washing cars all day, cleaning the trailer. Had to get the Mustang off the trailer, clean up the Impala. We're gonna take it down and put it in the corral. I had to run and buy another 700 R4 for my son's truck. Hopefully this one will actually work. Another 700 R4. Maybe this one will last longer than a week. You know, I really wanted to put one of these in the 65 for a couple years, but after the way these have lasted, I'm good. Supposedly this is the later design with the unadjustable in, but it looks just like the last one we had. Yeah, it is. I guess we'll find out. Let me see. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out. That way tonight we can work on the Roadrunner. As tomorrow we're out of town all day at a motocross race. I got some plans on Sunday, and then 3 days later we're going to Daytona. So we're just flat out of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out. So nobody call her and tell her when I'm working on her car or driving it, I have permission. So every one of these, everyone pulled the stud out with the bolt. And I forgot gloves, so now I look like that. Even though this car looks like that, you still get that when you work on it. So now I gotta figure out why this happened. You'll have to forgive me having to bend down. My tripod broke and it's sitting on a table now. So you're either gonna be at crotch height or I bend down with it on a table. Anyway, here's the deal. So what happened was the fine threaded side of this, the nuts bottomed out before it was tight. So that's why it pulled the studs out of the water pump. So obviously we need a washer here. It probably doesn't fit. Let's see. What we got here is a Pro Kit, supposedly. It says Pro Kit, 26-inch fan shroud. This is supposedly the correct hardware. These little clips clip on the radiator. These go through the shroud and go into it. It may fit. It looks a little off, but it's plastic. We'll see. We will see. Okay. Guess we'll start over. I'm gonna choose to walk away for a minute before I throw some ancient, valuable part of this car into the yard. Okay, we had to edit out just a minute or two there, but I think we're good now. Now it appears to be installed. I'm gonna bring you down to see this. All right. There we go. So you can see all across here. Fits all the dimples in the radiator just perfectly. It's right there and down to that bolt. The fan spins freely. I'm gonna go ahead and start the motor. Make sure, well, I need to go wash my hands before I get in there. So we've just about given up on the factory valve covers on the big block in the Super B. I've tried 4 different gaskets. I've done everything I could do. They're shot. So I picked up these old ancient Mickey Thompson fin valve covers. These things, I think I had a set in the 80s on my Super B. I've already got one cleaned up over here. Got it all scrubbed up, cleaned up, and I got a coat of this Rust-Oleum self-etching primer on it. Always put primer on before you try to paint. I learned that the hard way. So I decided to go with this Rust-Oleum metallic finish. This will get us by for now instead of having to waste an hour going and trying to find the right color. It's about 50 degrees here in Georgia this morning, so at a minute or two at a time, shake it up. Oh yeah, it's warming right up. Couple of seconds, get some heat in it, shake it back up. It's gotta be safe, right? It's gotta be. Look at that crystal clear finish. I have been called Picasso with a spray can. Insert your oohs and ahs here. This may be a little bright, but like I said, it'll get us to Daytona. We can always change them out, have them cleaned up and powder coated or whatever we want later. All right, figure I'd give you guys a up close look at the magic here. Look at the precision even coating. Oh yeah. Look at that. See. Over here, look at this. Behind my back. Behind my back even behind my back. Don't hate. Alright, time for color. I got the valve covers all cleaned up and ready to go on, and they ended up being a bust. As you can tell, there's no hole here and no hole here. So if you go over to the 1970 California big block, you have that 3-pronged little can that goes back to the fuel line, back to the engine, and it picks up both drains off the ram air pan. Back here we have PCV into the car. So without extensive modifications and drilling, those valve covers are not going to work, but that doesn't mean they're not going to work on another project. Steering is doing great. I see no leaks, no drips. I did end up going with These Moroso valve covers, these are Permaline, race proven, because it says so right there. These valve cover gaskets are silicone over steel, so they're not supposed to deform, they're not supposed to warp. They're actually, you can see I'm holding it up, they don't move at all. That's what we're looking for, because what came out of the car for the third time, well, this is my second set of cork. I tried rubber first, that didn't work, but you can see this thing completely saturated in oil and deformed, and I bet you it doesn't have 100 miles on it. So that was the source of our big oil leak. Oh, takes 2 feet. Low pressure. Charging. She's already warmed up a little bit. Tach's a little lazy, but it is 50 years old. Let's see what she sounds like. Oh yeah, that sounds like a big block no bar. There's a little tank coming out of the building. I have replaced the gasket, so maybe we don't shift it at 6,000 RPM for a day or two.
Okay.
We back the shift light down to like 5,000.
Hey, I'm not the one who drove it all the way to Tybee.
Yeah, weird how it didn't leak oil when I drove it.
Weird how when I came back it was leaking.
Weird. Nice LEDs. I like the one that flashes.
Yeah.
That's custom. So find a happy medium between Grumpy Jenkins drag racing and Grandma for the shifting.
Yeah. So picky.
Not bad.
It's actually working. Look, it's working. Yay. I mean, the other ones are blinking, but this is working now.
Hang on a second. Just give it a quick wrap. You can't tell what you set the idle mixture until you whack it once and see where it's recovered to. That should be good. You can shut it off. Ow, gosh. What was that?
I got this on the wrong side.
It's a good thing we're rebuilding the transmission after Daytona, right? And maybe lubing your clutch linkage. That's the last project for this car for now. That sucked a little bit, but I worked through it by myself. No, I don't want to put that in here. Let's cut that out. What else? So, heading off to Daytona in a week. When we get back, you'll see this car under the knife again. We're going to drop that 4-speed out. The Impala, which I just took to the store yesterday, so you can see I drive this car all the time. It's always dirty. There's bugs all over it. But this one will be heading to Daytona to go into the car corral. She's for sale, so you know anybody looking for a big block convertible Impala? She doesn't need much to be a capable street car. I drive it all the time, but she would need just a couple things to be perfect. See, the Roadrunner is over here. The Roadrunner is patiently waiting for its trip onto the lift so we can get all the brake lines off of it, get the fuel lines out of it, get the gas tank off of it. Inspect underneath it. We've never really seen underneath it. And prep it for all new brakes, all new fuel lines, new gas tank. Get this thing ready for a motor at some point. We have not forgotten about the 5-liter. I actually did a little buffing on the paint. It's coming along nicely. We're still not 100% sure what we're going to do with this car. But it's got to come off the trailer anyway because I need this trailer for the Grape Ape. So anyway, you see us in Daytona, stop by. We'll have a tent, we'll have some stickers, we'll have some flyers. Come by and say hi.